So I decided to switch from Pyro to Techno and pick up where my Pyro left off, because it was pretty obvious by the last video that my Pyro, he was improving at that point, he was a super tank at that point, and he was going to be smooth sailing from then on out. So I thought I'd switch it up and go to Techno. Now I will say this, doing the same challenge that I mentioned in part 1, what the challenge is, it actually is the absolute hardest on attack. And even here I actually almost died because I got a little too cocky, thinking I could just rush ahead to everything and get damaged by everything. This was right when I took Fixing Wave off for Blighted Turret, which we'll see in other videos. I still think was a better decision, but this was the one moment where it's like, oh, I actually wish I had Fixing Wave right here to immediately heal back to full in those kind of situations. And I will say you want to use Fixing Wave once you unlock it, and then switch to Blighted Turret. And then eventually, as you'll see with the build I plan to do, eventually you'll switch back to Fixing Wave. You'll get rid of Blighted Turret for Fixing Wave later for the infinite rocket launcher build by Expedition Endgame I plan to do. But in the meantime, this is going to be the level up build in campaign. Still using the rocket launcher, because the rocket launcher, honestly, the rocket launcher is the best Techno skill in the campaign, in this kind of challenge in the early game, because it does the most consistent damage. Especially like early game, it does a ton of single target damage. Like it will annihilate bosses really quick too. But then of course it also offers annihilation for AoE, which is crucial, especially because in the early game it's really hard to dish out AoE damage consistently, which you really want, because there's just so much hordes of enemies in this game that AoE, the area effect damage, is always the superior damage, with just rare exceptions when you fight lone bosses, and you just got to switch to something else for them. But for the most part, you want AoE damage almost everywhere. So yeah, Tools of Destruction with Rocket Launcher specifically is better. Rocket Launcher is way better than the minigun for early game Techno. Later on, the minigun, I would argue, as you see in my end game builds, I would say my minigun build is superior to my rocket launcher build here I'm going to do for end game, and I mean end game. Like tier 40, target guitar is all you're doing basically. That's when the minigun gets slightly better. Even then, the rocket launcher is still great. It's just the minigun has improved so much by that point in the game that it actually is much more viable. But in early game, don't use the minigun. It won't make you a tank. It's not going to heal you super quickly like it will in the end game until you stack way more skill leech, but you can't do that in the early game. So it'll just get you killed more often than not, because you have to make sure you're shooting something to heal you, which is going to be hard sometimes fighting human enemies, because you also have no mobility and all the riflemen are hiding. But also, again, you have no mobility, and it doesn't do as much damage either, even against single targets, even against bosses that the rocket launcher provides. And then the rocket launcher gives you AoE damage as well as mobility. You can still run around with it and not get staggered at all while you have it out. So, yeah, rocket launcher is definitely superior. And I use blighted rounds only in the very beginning, and I use both for that reason, to switch between them when they have massive cooldowns but still maintain consistent damage. But later on, you just use the rocket launcher. But yeah, I will say this, Techno is actually it is the best class, but in the early game, and I mean the early, like before this video, when I was like on world tier, I'd say 6 or 7 and below, and like the first half of the campaign up to like the quarry section, like Moloch-ish section. At that point in the game and before then, Techno is actually the hardest to stay alive on for this kind of playthrough. And I did. It was a pain, and I had to use cover way more than my Pyro did, and my Trickster. And it's because the Techno doesn't get any sort of percentage-based heals off kills. All his healing is based off doing damage, but it's based off skill leech and weapon leech, which don't heal you much in the early game because you need to do more damage, which you're not doing any damage at all in the early game, so nothing really heals you much on the Techno. It will heal you, and then it'll stack up and heal you a decent amount. And against like lone bosses, he actually had it easier than my Pyro and Trickster. But against hordes of enemies, particularly human enemies with guns, any type of rifleman-based horde of enemies, he had the hardest time by far than any of my other classes, because he's running around getting shot at by 20 riflemen, right? And he doesn't heal off any of them when he kills them. That's the problem there.
Got a direction. There's a big storm brewing. Warn the others. We need to find shelter. In there!
August, you came back.
What exactly is your friend doing?
Bailey! Fuck! Look at this fucking thing! It's making the fucking storm!
No, wait. It's not what you think. August can channel it, control it. Look, August is helping us.
No shit!
Billy, you need to stand down.
No, I don't think so. Think maybe I've gone far enough on your little death march. Think I'm going back to Corrigan and taking this freak with me. Come here! Ah! 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 So this is what it feels like.
Bailey, be careful. You don't know what this energy could do to you.
Oh no.
Go. Go! Really? You don't want to do this.
You could not be more wrong.
I don't know how you just went from 0 to 2, but why don't you calm down? That'll let Dr. Z easy. I think I have this. Bailey, you need to listen.
Power can boss me around? Well, not anymore. I'm taking you down.
I don't want to hurt you.
Why? I want to hurt you. No! You don't win this! Wait! No! No! No!
She's breathing. But her spinal cord's most likely severed. If she survives, she'll never walk again.
Good. She can watch the monsters eat her liver. Let's go.
No reason to leave her to suffer.
No! I don't care what she's done. We need to bring her. I will take care of her personally. I would do the same for any of you.
Really?
Okay. Now the no bullshit version.
My vision of the meadow. I've been seeing more of it. Bailey's in it. How's it supposed to come true if she's not with us?
In your vision, is everyone there? How?
I don't know.
Have you told them?
He doesn't listen to anything I say.
Hey, Jakob, we need to talk. I don't know how to say this, but this could turn ugly for some of us.
Whatever you're rambling about, forget it. I need to get the truck ready.
Yeah, but just
What? We die here, there? What's the difference? Hell, we should both be dead 100 times over. Every minute we are still breathing is already a bonus. So shut up about it, yeah?
Any theories on what August did in that temple?
Still formulating. But even if I had one, there's no way I could replicate.
Wait, don't look at me. I got nothing.
Not true. You're more like August than you are like any of us. Your powers, they may manifest in more violent ways, but there's no doubt you have a certain control over the anomaly.
You're thinking I can turn on that big obelisk thing like August?
Well, no, but whatever Bailey did seems to have damaged it, but there must be more obelisks out there in the ruins. Perhaps you could find them.
I'll try, but no promises.
Let me know as soon as you find another obelisk. They seem all of this.
So here I'm just showing what I'm using this build currently. Later on, right now I'm using blue gear, but I'm starting to get enough resources that I can justify upgrading one epic armor piece and my primary epic weapon, which I will do I will start doing that after this video, because I'm finally getting enough titanium to justify that, so I can effectively add a 6th mod to my armor loadout, my mod loadout on my armor. So yeah, I'll start doing that at this point in the game. Also, if you noticed in that previous boss fight, Bailey fight, I just mentioned how early game Techno is so hard to stay alive because you just don't heal enough. No kills heal you either. And so hordes of riflemen in particular just shred you constantly. The lone bosses are actually even easier because you heal better than other classes against like lone bosses. And then hordes of like creature enemies are easy because when they're in melee range constantly, you can just spam your melee itself, which freezes them, and you're able to do more damage, which can heal you more too, because the enemies horde around you more. So all AoE damage, like Tools of Destruction, will heal you a lot more. But yeah, when you're fighting 20 riflemen spread out around the field, all shooting you, and you're having to hunt them down one by one, any kind of human fight is really hard on the Techno in the early game. But you saw it's much easier now, and you saw I was healing more based off on that Bailey fight. It's because at this point in the game, I'm slapping Weapon Leech attribute on my gun, And the Techno has a built-in 15% weapon and skill leech on him. That's how he heals. So when you put weapon leech on your gun, for instance, you double up on your weapon leech healing. And damage over time mods, like death chains in this game, heal you based off your weapon leech stats. And now I can actually justify using the same gun, for instance, the same epic gun. So later on I'm going to be leveling up the same gun with death chains, for instance, and the same gun with weapon leech on it. So I keep that on me the rest of the game. And that's, at this point in the game, that is what's healing me. Now my turrets will start to heal me a bunch later on, but right now it's mostly that. Combining the Techno with the weapon leech attribute and death chains. Need that mod. Not only because it's the best damage mod, but it just heals you a ton.
I know you're still there. I can hear your whispers. Tell me what to do.
You lost?
Just passing through.
That'll get you killed around here. This place is hell.
Yeah, one's hell's another paradise. It's a strange feeling serving a higher purpose. One has a sense of dread, but also a profound sense of having been chosen.
Who are you? And what are you doing out here?
If one wants to understand this world, there's a place we must reach. But there are too many beasts, and my powers fail me. The monolith of the old ones. I need your help. You will be compensated.
When you put it that way, sure I'll help.
The old ones had answers. Not just how it began, but how it ends. I must know how to end it.
What's your name, stranger?
Name isn't who I am.
I gotta call you something. So, what are you doing out here?
I'm just wandering, far from any humans.
Okay, I'll bite, wanderer. Hey, Wanderer. So, girl broke your heart, and now you're out here living like a hermit so nobody can ever hurt you again, that kind of thing?
No one hurt me. I hurt them. I hurt all of them.
Who'd you hurt?
Doesn't matter anymore. They're all gone now. I'm the only one left to remember.
There's the obelisk. Let's see what's so special about this one. You're altered.
Is that what they call it where you come from?
Where the hell do you come from? And why did you ask for my help? You have powers, you could have just...
Be wary of your powers, altered. They will lead you to madness. The more you feed them, the harder the darkness pulls. I no longer have the strength. Yes. Perhaps. Yes.
You can read that? Who are you?
Go back the way you came if I were you. The way forward is only death. Compensation for your troubles.
Hey, Wanderer. You know anything about this big gate and those out who built them?
If you had the answer, what would you...
Satisfy my curiosity?
Curiosity is arrogance. Curiosity is what brought us here.
I'm pretty sure survival brought us here.
No. Survival is all we're left with, after our answers have turned everything else to ash.
we have here? way to the gate is clear. And how the hell do we open it?
Are we sure? That thing looks like the gate to the next circle of hell.
That gate is all that stands between us and the source of the signal.
I am this close to changing my mind about going through that giant fucking gate.
Outrider, let us know if you want us to join you at the gate.
Time to figure out how to open this thing. I'm waiting for you here.
Everything we've been hoping for is right behind this gate, but there's no obvious mechanism for opening it.
August, you must know, yes?
Lost people.
You mean there's others like you?
Maybe.
What do you mean? You know what's out there?
Oh, come on! That's our only hope? It's the end of the goddamn world out there. What happened to a place beyond the storms, huh?
We are about to go farther than any man has ever gone before.
Well, let's go! Before I change my fucking mind. Mr. Spock. Crazy fucking bullshit. Look at the size of that storm.
It's coming fast. We need shelter.
I'll take the lead. Stay on me.
Better and better.
Bailey's barely lucid. You need to keep her hydrated.
I'm trying, but we barely have any water left as it is.
Tahiti, you sure she'll never walk again?
It'd be a miracle if she did.